These royal relics have been discovered beneath the floorboards of Buckingham Palace. Discarded cigarette packets and a newspaper cutting from 1889 have been discovered beneath the floorboards of Buckingham Palace as workers replace 70-year-old wiring in a £369 million refurbishment programme. The relics of royal history were unearthed in rooms below the Queen's private apartments at her official residence during rewiring work designed to reduce the fire risk inside the crumbling palace. They included packets of cigarettes from bygone days, Players Navy Cut, Wild Woodbine, and Piccadilly Number One. It is not clear whether the fag packets, thought to date back to the 1940s, belonged to heavy smokers in the royal family, such as King George VI or his younger daughter Princess Margaret, or just to servants or other staff employed at the palace at the time. A copy of London's Evening Standard newspaper dates back further to Wednesday, November 27, 1889, 2 years after Victoria, Empress of India, had celebrated her Golden Jubilee. It has not been straightforward work for a team of engineers that has been removing vulcanized Indian rubber cabling installed in the 1940s. Without a blueprint to show where the wires wind through the floorboards, the engineers have had to pull the old cables up through ceilings and across floorboards after finding they snaked around the rooms and corridors. Mick Carden, an electrical engineer, said, "You think it would just go straight down the corridor, but in actual fact it takes a convoluted route to get it to that point." Barbara Welch, the program director, explained that the work was vital to make the palace safer. She said, "The vulcanized Indian rubber becomes really brittle with age and it cracks and it falls off, exposing live electrical cables, which is a real fire risk. It presents the highest risk to the palace, and therefore the sooner we get that risk out of the building, the better." The government has given the royal family an increase in taxpayers' cash from the sovereign grant to fund a 10-year program of refurbishment work to make the palace fit for the 21st century. From last April, the grant was increased from the equivalent of 15% to 25% of the profits of the Crown Estate. British monarchs have handed over the profits of the Crown Estate to the Treasury since 1760 in return for no longer having to fund the costs of the state, which this year have risen to £814 billion. From autumn this year, a major refurbishment programme will begin in the East Wing at the front of Buckingham Palace.